evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mahoning Drive-In Theater, the largest single-screen drive-in in the United States. We're certainly glad you could be with us this evening, and don't forget the concession stand is open with all kinds of great things to eat and drink.
.3 Mahoning Drive-In Radio, your old friend Virgil back once again for another exciting episode of the podcast. As you guys know, the only podcast dedicated to the love and revival of our beloved drive-in culture, joined as always by my co-host and general manager extraordinaire, Mark. Say hello, my friend.
Hello.
And so excited as we continue our Owners Operators series here on the podcast. A lot of you guys love whenever we can do this. And today we are crossing the border. That's right. We are going to be talking to our good friend Francois Pradella, who's the co-owner at Cine Parc Orford in Sherbrooke, Quebec, Canada. That's right. Our Canadian friends finally making it on the podcast, a 3-screener, and we're very excited to talk about all things drive-ins and really the differences between the American drive-in culture and the Canadian drive-in culture. So welcome, Francois, to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Man, we are so excited to have you. There's so many questions that we have, but why don't you give people a kind of layout of your theater and really how things came to be for you to be involved in it?
Yeah, actually, it's so the land where the drive-in is situated was an old racetrack in the 50s and 60s. That closed down in the middle of the 60s, and then in 1970 they had a good idea, somebody local, to put a screen there and to screen some movies outside during the summer. And that was in 1970. And then 15 years later, they added a screen. So they became a 2-screener. And we added a 3rd screen in 2020 when we bought, actually. So I'm the owner since 2020 of the Cine Parc.
So you're fairly recent as far as an owner goes, but the theater's been around since 1970.
Yeah, the theater's been there for a while. And we just, when we bought it in 2020, because we own movie theaters in the region. So when we saw that the drive-in was for sale, we were kind of interested.
Yeah.
Because it's the same, we thought that it was the same business because we show movies, both places. But we realized very fast that it's a completely
You're
different
coming to learn, yeah. There's really nothing like it, even being in the biz, you know?
Exactly. No, it's completely different business. The only thing that compares between the two is that we show movies, but that's it. The rest is completely different. It's not the same atmosphere. It's not the same crowd. So then in 2020, when we just bought it before the pandemic, and then we just dived in the business in 2020. Just all the movie theaters were closed.
Yeah. So
we just focused on that. We added the 3rd screen, and we started doing some renovations on site.
Very ambitious. I love that. A lot of times it's a family's leaving it to, a family member, and they can maintain it best that they can. But the idea of coming in and doing improvements right away and upgrading the experience by adding another screen. So it looks like, at least by doing the research, you guys were called the Rock Forest when you first opened, and then it changed to the Orford?
Yeah, it was actually Rock Forest was the name of the city where it was located.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you're on site, we always see the mountain that's right in front, which is Mount Orford. So during the 70s, it just changed. I think people were just calling it always Cine Parc Orford instead of Cine Parc Rock Forest. Yeah. So it just changed naturally. And then what I understand is that starting in the 80s, they just changed the name because that's what people were using all the time. So
yeah, it makes total sense. I love that progression of the business. Of your memory of the theater before you got there, started as a single screener, then went to the 2-screener. Was it closed for a very short period of time before you guys came back with digital projection?
No. They did the previous owners changed into the digital in 2015. It took a bit more time than the movie theaters actually to switch to digital, but they did that in 2015. And no, they never closed. It was all open every summer. We run basically from the first weekend of May until mid-September, more or less.
Nice. So your schedule is very similar to ours in that it's kind of forced to be seasonal. We're April through October just to take advantage of the Halloween season, but it does get cold. Yep. I take it you guys are the same situation. The weather forces you.
Yeah, we'd like to take it to Halloween, but it gets too cold. Usually around early October, on site gets close to 0 degrees Celsius. So that's maybe
anybody,
30.
Right?
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense to come to a drive-in and get your car going for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then they have to open the windows and all that stuff. So we just, it's the normal way of, it's always the same thing. We have seasonal staff. And when school starts in early September, it's always hard to continue very long. So we usually do second week of September, maybe third week, and then it's closed.
Yeah, makes total sense. I'm curious, before we get into the physical kind of layout of the theater, the location, all that stuff, what is the landscape like in Canada as far as the draw of the drive-ins? I imagine it's similar in that we're very much looked at as a classic nostalgic form of entertainment. We did have our bump over the pandemic as far as awareness, but it is very much a still constant discovery for the young kids in America and a kind of lean in for the old folks in America.
I talked a lot to the previous owners, and I always watched the Cine Parc from a distance, let's say. But they had really good years, 2016, 17, 18, 19. It was maybe like a 15% increase every year.
Nice.
Of the business.
Yeah.
But in the popular, say, knowledge, people were thinking, oh no, it's way out. It's not popular anymore. So people were thinking, because of all the platforms and all that stuff. So people were thinking that drive-ins were out, whereas in reality, those that were left were doing very good business.
Yeah.
So that kind of it helped us buy the business for a good price. We still do that. But when I saw the numbers, I mean, it was just an increase every year. So there's only, right now in Quebec, there's only 5 drive-ins left.
Yeah.
3 in the region of Montreal, let's say, 1 in Eastern Townships where we are located, and 1 in Gaspésie, which is pretty much up northeast. Yeah. But they really have a really short season, mid-June to mid-August. It's super short.
Oh, yeah.
Because it gets too cold. And since we've had it, it's been an increase. 2020 was challenging because we didn't have that many movies.
Oh yeah, it was a challenge for everybody.
So that was the issue there. But people want to go out. But we always have the American movies, but we also rely on home movies from Quebec, which helps us. So we had a bit more product, I say, than the other drive-ins. And that helped us in 2020 and 2021 and 2022. And last year was just bad weather all through summer. So,
can you talk a little bit about the Quebec home movies and just the film atmosphere or landscape there?
Yeah, for sure. Well, what I've noticed in talking to the previous owners too, there's been a shift in the people that come to drive-ins. I think in 2022 we looked at we had prices for people 65 and plus, and I think in the whole season we sold 6 tickets.
Wow.
To that age group. Yeah, it was so we're seeing that it's moving away from the older folks, more and more family oriented, and young adults.
Yes.
That's pretty much because we have movies. When we're the height of summer, say the beginning of July, we have movies. The second movie starts at 12:30. It's pretty late. So the older folks. So we're seeing really a shift. But the Quebec movies, typically in our movie theaters, we run 12 months a year. We play maybe 40 movies from Quebec, more or less. It's between 20 and 25% of the money that we make every year, more or less. But the Quebec movies that work well at the drive-in are more like comedies, popular movies, I'd say. And those we typically play, there's always one or two in the summer. That helps us just to fill in those 3 screens with people, movies that people want to see.
Yeah.
And but basically what we play most is American movies, but dubbed in French. So they're not subtitled in French. It's really dubbed.
Wow.
Fully in French.
Okay. So there's really not an English language option at the theater.
We play English movies on slower nights, like Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a lot of so the English speaking community in Eastern Townships, they would like us to play more English movies. The solution we have is that we want to have on the same DCP a track in English, a track in French. So people, when they just show up to the screen, they can pick what FM station they want. And they could pick English or French. That would be like a perfect solution. But the thing is, we're the only drive-in / movie theater in
They're not
Canada
catering necessarily to that for one theater.
So it's not enough volume, so they're not interested. So we're stuck now doing these. We're keeping our biggest nights in French, but we have nights in English. But perfect solution would have both languages all the time. We just had to add on every screen another FM emitter, and but so we would like that, but the distributors are not keen on doing that. We know they're doing that in the south of the states they have English and Spanish. So it's doable. We've heard also in Brazil they do Spanish and Portuguese, but it's just that there's more volume for us since we're the only drive-in that's playing movies in English in Quebec. All the other ones are just playing French all the time. Right. But we want to play also in English. But we don't have the volume, so we have to do these specific nights.
Normally I ask people, because the drive-in is such a nostalgic draw for people, what the percentage of tourism is of people who come in and are just kind of curious. Are you in that type of location where you benefit from tourism coming in?
Yes, we do. We're located in the Sherbrooke, but we're really close to Magog, which is like a town with a lot of tourism. There's a big lake actually that goes to Newport in Vermont. So we always have a lot of tourism. I'd say it's hard to say, but I don't think we're close to maybe 10%, not more than that.
So really, the need for the American language is for the locals.
Yes, because in Eastern Townships in Quebec is the region where, except for Montreal, is a region where there was the most English-speaking people in the province. Yeah. But basically, everybody's bilingual. But for sure, when you understand English, like any other language, you prefer to see the movie in the original language. If you understand French and you see a movie from France and you see it dubbed in English, well, it's kind of weird. So it's the same thing for people that can understand English and all that. To see a movie where Eddie Murphy speaks in French, it's always a bit. It takes 5-10 minutes, and then you get into it. It's always the same thing, but you just have to get over those few minutes where it's kind of awkward.
That makes total sense. Well, since you have the history with running indoors and outdoors as the film booker here at the Mahoning, what's it like booking those Quebec films versus the kind of studio Hollywood movies? Do they give you good deals? Do they give you a break for running them? How does that work?
The deals are not bad. They're a bit better. It's more around the 50-50 range, more or less. But the problem we run into is that when we have, we'll say Warner Bros. Or Universal, when they have their lineup of movies coming out, they never look at the Quebec schedule. And I can understand because, they look at the whole States, Canada, so they don't think about, this little province where they have these home movies. And so, but then we always run into these issues. It's always in the middle of summer, like mid-July, peak time for drive-in. And we have a movie that's coming out and we're taking it. And then we're not taking in, say, another American movie. And so then we get into, it's not fights, but it's just, they don't understand. And so we have to explain. that we have a demand for this movie, so we're thinking that. So there's always a bit of tit for tat, like a little, but it's still we always find grounds, to play them.
It's the name of the booking game, kind of going back and forth like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But then we always play it, so it's always double bills. So that's something else that I wasn't really used to. When people come to the movie theater and they only pay for a movie and then it's done and they go. But this time there's two movies, so it was a challenge the first year just to figure out always a second movie. And then we were kind of stuck. We were thinking about a lot of good movies for a second movie, but we had to stick with the distributor, what they have. You can't put a Disney over Universal and all that stuff. So
with having 3 screens, I take it that gives you a little more flexibility as far as what you can do. We talk to folks who have a single screen, and it's such a challenge just to program because you are kind of constantly playing chess with all these different studios.
Yeah. The 3 screens helps a lot. When we bought it in 2019, we really wanted to, as soon as we opened in 2020, wanted to put a 3rd screen there. That was part of the whole deal because we really wanted to have that flexibility where you can play, instead of playing 4 movies, we have 6 movies. So that helps to program. And sometimes we just need that 3rd screen to have a movie that's still doing good, and you don't want to let it go. You just want to play that extra week.
Great option.
So that helps a lot. Whereas when you only have 1 or 2 screens, well, you have to let go a movie that's still doing box office, but something new is coming out, so you want that new movie, but you could still play the other movie that's maybe the terms are a bit better. You can make some money out of it. So that's what the 3rd screen helps us with.
Well, before again we get to the layout, you seemed like you have this love of what you do, and you've been doing it for a while. Where does this all come from? How did you get into the theater business?
Well, actually, it's my mother opened a movie theater in Magog in 1985, and I started to go there when I was young. I was 10 or 11, just picking up the popcorn once the movie was finished and just hanging out there. Yeah. And I just got I just loved it, and the drive-in was always there, but we weren't in that business. But I just went a couple of times and kind of liked it, but. It's just everything came in 2019. The owners were there for more than 10 years, and they were willing to sell. So it was just a business. It wasn't pre-planned, but it's something that came about, and which is really fun because But I really thought I was getting into something that I knew was easy to run.
Your comfort zone, yeah.
Yeah, comfort zone, but that went out the window pretty fast. Especially with the pandemic. Yeah, for sure. But you see, it's a different beast. And what I like most of the drive-in at our place is that when you get on site, it feels like you're going camping. There's a vibe. We're in the woods. We have a nice view. We open at 6 p.m. every night. Movies start around 9:30, so people come in early. They throw a ball. They go for a walk with the dog. Kids are playing. We have So we're not allowed to have a barbecue on site though, but it's more people setting up, getting in early. So it has a really nice vibe, like a summery vibe. That's what's nice too with a seasonal business. The movie theaters were open 12 months a year. So, I mean, it's just like that kind of grind, but the drive-in is always special because it's always in the summer. So there's not, the other thing too is that there's not a lot of evening activities for parents with children.
Yes.
So, and this is one, which can be really nice, so you can get in early. People. Yeah. So that's something that's really nice.
I think it really does offer an amazing service. And again, having the 3 screens, you're not limited to being like, well, tonight's family night, or tonight we're going with a little more hard edge. You can really play all those cards at any given time throughout your schedule. And we can certainly relate to the kind of outdoorsy draw to the drive-in. Same thing. We're always waiting for sundown, and the atmosphere on the lot is electric as that sun slowly sets. People love hanging out, talking about the movies, taking everything in, the scenery. And we're lucky enough that we're kind of the same situation. We're surrounded by woods. Not as much as you, but we really luck out with very little light pollution, and it really does lend to this idea of, all right, we're in our own little bubble here. It's like our own separate world once you go through the gates.
Yeah, exactly, and that's pretty much it. When you just go through that gate, people are driving super slow, kids everywhere. And just this nice vibe, and so that's really what it's not that something surprised me, because I knew a bit about it, but running it is a bit different, and just seeing that vibe gives, it's kind of nice. It's really nice. So I bring my family too, and we have a good time.
So you grew up at a theater. It's in your blood.
Yeah.
Your kids now get to grow up at the drive-in. It's pretty amazing, I can certainly relate. I got a munchkin myself, and seeing him run around the lot, I'm just constantly jealous. I'm just like, I wish I had this as a kid.
Yeah.
So give us a little bit of a layout. Like you said, 3 screens. Do you have a shared concession lobby? Do you have multiple concessions?
Yeah, so basically the 3 screens are like in a triangle, and they're all pointing to the middle, say, of the lot. And so we have in the middle, that's where we have the building where we have the concession, and the toilets are there. When we bought it, the 2 projectors were on ground level, shooting to the screen. But when we bought it, when we added the 3rd screen, we just added another floor to the building. And that's where we put the projection booth.
Oh, that's great. Opened up all that space.
Yeah, so it opened up some space, and we have those 3. So the 3 projectors in the same booth, projector booth, and they just shoot on every screen. So everything's concentrated in one area. Don't have to run around somewhere else. And last year we also bought a 4K laser projector.
Oh yeah,
for our biggest screen. Yeah, our biggest screen, and that's just the quality of the image is amazing.
Splits your mind, right? It's unbelievable how far we've gone.
We had an event last summer with Nintendo.
I saw this. Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Yeah, we had people play Mario Kart on the big screen, and that was kind of cool.
Was it actually sanctioned, but with Nintendo?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
It was a nightmare working with these guys. They wanted to control every little aspect. We couldn't even
Nintendo.
Oh, it was crazy. But in the end, we didn't make money out of it. In the end, it was just break even. But it's doing the event. Drawing people to the drive-in, maybe that never came before, having people play live on a huge screen. I mean, our biggest screen it's 120 by 80 feet.
Wow.
So it's a pretty big screen. It's our biggest. That's where we put the projector. So yeah, it was really nice to have that last year.
Magical, absolutely. I mean, who's gonna ever forget that, playing the video games up on the big screen?
Well, we did that after, just with some friends.
That's the way to do it, right? Yeah, it's always about the late night fun that we can have, right? But yeah, we do a video game event every single year to try flexing that muscle a little bit. But it's such a fun outside thinking, something that, obviously you could do that at an indoor, but it's so much more communal at an outdoor theater.
Yeah, I don't know. We tried it indoor, and it's really like more of a gamer thing. Everybody's super concentrated, and it's really like the game. But outdoors was like, yes, it was nice, but it was nice just to be there outside playing. So it had a different vibe.
Yeah. 120-foot screen. That's massive. Wow.
Yeah, it's big.
What's
It's
this?
big.
What are the size breakdowns on your others? Are they all around the same?
No, the two others are a bit smaller. I got one that's 80 by 56 or
Still
something,
stellar.
more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one is like 75 by 50, so a bit smaller.
Awesome.
But they're still pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any standout aspects from your theater for us? And I guess it just goes along with the culture. We have a standout marquee by the road that everybody loves taking
Yeah.
photos with. Anything like that for you guys?
Yeah. We have the marquee, which was there since 1970, and it's by the highway, close to where we come in, and that's really something that's been there for like forever, basically.
Yeah.
So people
Part of the
really,
landscape.
it's our biggest seller. That, and in 2022 we renovated the concession, and we added fries. So we added the poutine to our menu,
Yes.
and that was a game changer for sales for us.
Of course, you can't go to a Canadian drive-in without poutine, right?
Well, you can have bad poutine for sure, but
Now that it's quality.
we just went, we focused a bit more on just having something fresh, fresh fries cut every day with local cheese and sauce, so the whole thing. So we did that, and we added also ice cream, and so that was really a game changer for us for sales.
Yeah.
Still, our biggest seller is popcorn.
Naturally.
By a lot. But after that, we can we for sure the poutine and the ice cream really helped us.
Yeah, we always ask about the concession stand, and whenever we talk to folks who are out of country, it's even more of a allure of what your guys' draw is. And obviously popcorn's the king. Having such a kid and family clientele like you talked about, adding popcorn, that's just a home run. What kid's not asking their parent for that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that was really a big change for us. That was
any other
was really
standout
good.
items that you guys offer that might differ from American audiences' palate?
Yeah, we well, I mean, we have the regular, so popcorn, nachos. That's a big seller.
Yeah.
And then we also have beaver tails.
Explain beaver tails to us.
So basically, it's dough. It's fried dough, and then you just we cook it for maybe like 1 minute, and then we just add toppings on there. You could add chocolate. You can the classic recipe is just cinnamon with lemon.
Yeah.
But we have some with chocolate. You can add. There's a million different.
Like dessert style, donut
put.
style, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of like a flatbread. Really popular in Canada.
Yeah.
And we added that last year, and that became our number one seller for a while. Then popcorn came back again, of course. But yeah, that's pretty much what we have.
That is awesome. I love hearing things like that because being at the theater, indoor or outdoor, half the draw, especially when you're a youngster, is like, look at all this food, look at all these options. And being such a drive-in fan, I love hearing the different eats that people offer throughout the different states and now all over the world. How does your pricing work there? You do carload, you do per person?
Yeah, we have the price per person. So all the taxes are included, and we have 15% tax in Quebec, so that's quite a bit. But so so adults is $14, students $10, and kids $4. So that's pretty cheap.
Wow, that's a steal.
Yeah, but then we have the 30. We can have, if you're more than 3 people, usually the best option is to take the $35 car. So it's just basically $35. There can be 3, 4, 5, or 8, whatever, doesn't matter.
Sure. Well, that's a great option.
Yeah, that's our most popular one. But for sure, I mean, if you're alone or just 2, you just take you just pay the admission. But the car is better. Like three people or more is better with the car.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as any sort of specialty things on the lot that folks like to do, like you said, you guys have a nice kind of pre-game lead up to the movie, maybe longer than most people.
Yeah, we focused on that quite a bit. We put in a volleyball net, soccer net. The kids can so the lot is so big. We can, in some corners, where there's no cars, we can add some stuff like that. And just close to the main building, we have inflatable things for the kids.
Bounce houses and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have that. So that's always very popular with, and we put picnic tables everywhere too, around the main building. So people can buy their food and then they can just have a place to sit down. And so yeah, that's pretty much our draw. It's we try to get people in early. That's really what we focused on in the last couple of years, is to because before it would open more around like 7:30 and have movies between 9 and 9:30. We really wanted to open 6 p.m.
Get them there for dinner.
Yeah, so we have, and people can bring their food too. That works. They're allowed to do that, so they bring in and they just have some good family time, outdoors, not indoors.
Yeah, it's those memories that really solidify at a drive-in. I love seeing the different generations. There's a big push for us on the lot to pass the drive-in culture to the next generation. And as much as we actively push to do that, parents feel obligated, especially a movie parent, to have their kid experience it. And for a lot of kids, it's not hard to fall in love with the drive-in. I'm sure you see that as well.
No. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
tenfold, right?
It's freedom. I mean, for the kids, what we've seen, they get in, the parents, I mean, we're not allowed to, we don't sell alcohol on site, but I mean, we're not the police.
Sure. Yeah, we're the same.
We had an issue last year with Fast and Furious, where we had that first Saturday night was just hell on earth. We had people drunk and it was just a mess. The police were there and it wasn't. But but it's the only time that I saw it get out of hand. Usually people are just super responsible. If they want to have a beer, we're, like I said, I told the staff, we're not the police. We're not going to start, telling people not to do, but it has to stay okay, basically.
Yeah, be respectful is a pretty easy rule to follow.
And it's always been, there's only that one night where things got out of hand. People were going to the concession with a vodka bottle and asking for Pepsi so they can mix, and we're like, holy.
Oh, geez, yeah. Another world.
That happens, but usually, I mean, it's really nice, and we have a good collaboration from the local police too. They're avid clients of us.
I love it. Yeah.
At the drive-in, so they understand the vibe. So
that really helps. Well, before I turn it over to Mark with any questions that he might have, being that you are in both sides of the film industry, indoor and outdoor, what is your film landscape like directly around you? I know that you talked about where the other drive-ins are in location to you.
Yeah.
What about your indoor theaters? I take it some of them are yours.
Yeah, there's one, the one just pretty close is ours. So for sure we have some publicity at the drive-in before the movie starts. We say, if it's raining, think about the movies inside. And we have the same thing at the movie theater where we say, if it's really nice and you want to go out, well, we have the drive-in, which is a nice experience. So we do like this cross marketing if you want to. And then there's another big movie theater. Actually, there's two big movie theaters in Sherbrooke. One is like 16 screens and the other one is 10 screens.
Yeah.
But we don't actually view, the thing is, before buying the drive-in, I thought it was a competition, like the movie theaters were competition with the drive-in. Yeah. But it's really not really. We have people that go to both, but we also have people that are super, like, if they're going to wait till the movie comes to the drive-in.
Different audiences.
Yeah, and we have, like, families, for sure, they'll go to movie theaters inside, of course, but in the summer, if it's nice, and the movie's right, well, they'll go outside before going inside, and which makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. I love that it's such a part of your guys' culture just as much as it is ours, and has the draw on the same level as it does for us. And naturally it would. That magical lore of the drive-in, it's the same no matter where you are, no matter what language you speak. So it's really great getting that perspective from you.
Yeah, and when we bought it, actually, and this, the other thing is that when we bought it, we when I visited the drive-in a couple of times in 2019, I thought it was pretty not well kept. The place was dirty, a lot of empty containers, everywhere. So that's something we really worked on, and we really want, when people come in every night, we wanted the place to be clean,
taking the beauty of it.
Yeah, because we could see, containers everywhere and just looked like not well kept. And that's something since the pandemic also is all over. We see people are really more, they want something nice. They're willing to spend more, but they really want something that's worth their money.
Absolutely. So, they respect that you guys have taken this place and really put love into it. It goes so far. It really does. We see it every single day. For years, we worked as a volunteer staff to get the theater back up on its feet and kind of build what we do now, being the only 35 millimeter drive-in left in America. But it takes a lot of heart, a lot of passion, a lot of hard work to be able to, sell that to people on why that's important.
Yeah, for sure.
Mark, you have anything for our good friend up north?
A few things, sure. One question I had is, you talked about you losing a lot of your staff as school opens up again.
Yeah.
How is your staff made up? Is it predominantly youths that you sort of cycle in and cycle out?
Yeah, pretty much youth between end of high school and your university. Mostly girls between, I'd say, 16 and 25 maybe. And typically in the summer, we have more or less 30 people on staff.
Oh, that was my follow-up, was how many people? That's a pretty sizable staff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we need, like on big nights, like say a Saturday night, and it's not nice and sunny outside, and we have good movies, we need 3 people at the gate. We have 2 people on, we call security on site, and just, making sure people park okay and all that stuff. Yeah. And then the concession, we have 6 people maybe, and then in the kitchen we have another 3, and then we're open 7 days a week, all the time. So we need quite a bit of staff.
Do you stagger your intermissions so that the snack bar is not hit by all 3 intermissions at the same time?
Yeah, we didn't do that the first year, and we really paid dearly, because it was just all the movies the first movie always they all ended at the same time, and we thought it was a good idea, but it was a really bad idea. So we changed that pretty fast, because we can get, typically on a big night, if the movie starts at 9:30, we get a rush that's nonstop from 8 to 9:30. It's just insane. The only thing I do is I just make popcorn for like nonstop for an hour and a half. So we started to in 2021 we started to change so that not all the movies finished at the same time. So we didn't get and it's not that just that, the toilets also on site, everybody going at the same time. So we just had to delay that a bit.
I mean, we're very conscious of the customer experience at our theater, and nobody wants, I always say, we don't want this place to feel like Epcot, where everybody is standing in a line for hours.
For sure.
We do some big shows, and that's how partly we decided what our sellout number was per person was. We don't want it to be so crowded that you're just waiting in a line the whole time, because some of our events you start in the afternoon and go well into the evening with multiple films. Speaking of cars and capacity, what is your car capacity for the theater? Do you know?
So on the 3 screens, well, I mean, it never happened, but full would be around 1,000 cars.
Wow,
nice.
And you have, I saw on the website, you have color coding on the poles. Now, the poles, the remnants of where the speaker poles originally were, I assume.
Yeah, they were, but actually we had to replant all of the poles. So we got rid of a lot of that wiring that was just not useful anymore. But we have this color coding system that works. I'd say like 85% of the time. It's those nights where you're super busy, and then there's too many SUVs or whatever that happens. So sometimes we have to. A car that was supposed to look at screen 3, if screen 1 is super busy, we can just tell people to park the other way. So we can take some spots away from the other screens to the biggest screen, just to maximize the sales on that screen.
Interesting. So the color coding basically is directing cars based on size and height to certain areas. Yeah. That's really smart.
Yeah, but also say you have a little car like a Honda Civic or something, but we ask the people if they're going to watch it from the front or the back, because even if you have a small car, if you watch it from the back, you're going to have that hood up, and it's gonna be like a SUV basically. Right. So we had to adapt for that, just for people who are, and it happens. Some people have really good sound systems, and they just prefer to watch it from that area.
That's one of the funny things I've noticed over the years. When I was a kid in the late 70s, early 80s, going to the drive-in, every car was pointed facing the screen. And at some point, it feels like the 90s. If you saw an aerial photo of a drive-in, you're like, why is everybody facing away from the screen? Backing in became a big thing. And sitting outside became a big thing too. Yeah,
for sure. I'd say more than half of the people they have chairs and they're just sitting outside of the car.
And I still am an in-car sitter because I just like to have control of my environment more. But it is really, especially in your area, and I've seen the photos, it's a beautiful area. So to be able to see the sunset behind the screen and sit outside and feel the wind on you, it's part of the experience for a lot of customers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's unthinkable for some people to sit in your car to watch a movie.
Yeah. Well, we always have these scattered Europeans that come to the drive-in, and they're always amazed. Because they never have that in Europe. I mean, when they have outside screenings in Europe, it's always a little place in the middle of the city, and people just bring their chairs and that's it. But it's more, North America, more of a car culture. So they're always like really amazed to see like this is still. They thought it was only in the movies, but no, it's some people do it in the summer. So.
Yeah.
So how? This is something I ask everybody. How consistent an issue on any given night is it for headlights on the screen and cars that cannot run their radio without the engine or headlights being on?
Oh, that's a headache.
Because
the thorn in our side.
We all become miniature experts in that niche of how to get a radio to work with.
Yeah, I have my staff and some of the people that come to drive-in, they see all the girls say, "Oh, they don't know how to jumpstart a car or something." I said, "No, you don't know because they're experts." She's 16 years old and she's an expert in this stuff. The headlights. What we have is that we, I don't know the term. I think it's kind of a felt. We just glue. We don't glue it on, but we stick it on when people can't close their headlights.
Great.
So that's our solution there. It's just we don't have an infinity amount of this stuff. We can do maybe like 20 cars per night, more or less, with this stuff. But last season we had some nights we had like 40, 45 cars. So that was a bit of an issue. So that sucks really. And having your car go the whole movie is also a pain in the butt for us because it takes away a bit from the experience. People, you can hear the car going, and so that when it happens, we usually when a car has to be going to get the radio going, either we have portable radios that we can lend them. That's the easy way. If they don't want that, well, we have to move their car to the side, and so that he can still see the screen, but he's not having that noise, in the middle of a lot of people.
Now, I've never thought about this until just now, but I always tell people at our theater, if you don't have a radio and your car radio doesn't work and you're sitting outside, don't worry because people on either side of you will have radios and you'll still hear it fine. With a 3-screener, is there a lot of noise pollution? Is probably not the right word, but the noise.
Well, no, but like a cross noise or whatever. Yeah. No, it hasn't been an issue. The site is pretty big. We're 1.2 million square feet. The area, the size of the lot. So it's pretty big. So we have never had that issue. It hasn't come up. So we're pretty lucky on that point. What we have for noise pollution is with the neighbors. They built this drive-in. It was in the middle of the woods in the 70s. There was no houses near. It was really in the middle of nowhere, let's say. But with time now, we have houses all around the lot, and every year I have some complaints from people that they can hear the movie, and so that's an issue that we try to solve. We planted some more trees, basically, to try to get the noise down. But I'm not going to go around and tell people to put the sound down or something. That's not something we want to do.
Sure.
So that's pretty much. I'm meeting actually in a month or so, just before the drive-in opens. I'm going to meet all the neighbors. We're going to do this reunion with all the people that are interested in, and just to see what they think. And because the drive-in is not going to go away, and the people living around it are not going to go away either. So we'll just find a solution. Maybe sometimes just talking about it helps, So
absolutely.
We try to do the same thing. Happy neighbors are a drive-in's best friend. Well, aside from customers are a drive-in's best friend.
Right. Well, this has been really fantastic, really informative. We were so excited when you reached back, because it really does give not just us, but the audience a different flavor, a well-rounded flavor, and we can see the differences in our culture and your culture. But we share so much, and one thing is so clear, that you're running it with such heart, and that's really, I think, what it takes this day and age to run a drive-in, is really put your whole heart into it, really think about your customers before anything else, and seems like you got all that covered.
Yeah, we had a good we have a good run. The only thing is last season was a lot of rain. So our sales compared to the year before, we were down. We finished around 40% down.
Wow!
So
yeah.
that's pretty significant.
The weather and the drive-in, something people don't always put together. It's like, if we get a lot of rain, that's not good for us.
The weekend we opened Barbie. We had Barbie. I had Oppenheimer. I had 2 movies on the screen, and it was pouring rain. It was 7 p.m. and I was there on site. The movie theaters were full, but I'd rather in the summer have the drive-in full. It's when you compare the sales, it has no comparison to movie theaters. The drive-in is way more. But it was just, the summer started like that. At the end of June till mid-August, it was just raining every weekend, every Friday, Saturday. It was just, come on. So that was a bit frustrating. But anyways, we're in this for the long run, So it's not a bad season or 2 bad seasons going to be the end of the drive-in, for sure. But it would be nice to have a bit more sunshine in the summer, for sure.
It's the long game, and it gives us such confidence doing what we're doing to connect with people that are so like-minded. It really feels like we are creating this kind of supportive group where we all have each other's back, and we're all kind of going for the like-minded goal of reviving and continuing to revive the love of the drive-in for the next generation.
Yeah, for sure. What we did also during 2 years ago is that some drive-ins that were closed for a while, we just bought the structure that was holding the screens. Yeah, the actual screen, is just corroded. It's maybe for a big screen it's like $5,000. It's nothing, but it's the structure that holds the whole thing. So we have like 2 structures like that we just keep on site for if we have future projects, or if somebody comes in with something they want to do in Quebec.
Oh, that's amazing. You're ready.
We're ready, exactly. We were looking we would like to open another site, but prices are gone just crazy. So it's
we know
timing
that
is not there.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you let folks know where they can find you, whether it's online, website, or social media?
Yeah, so our website is Cine-Parc Orford.com, and it's pretty easy to find. And we're just 20 minutes north of the border, so we're not far away from our American friends.
Yeah,
and we have movies in English some nights. So
I love that.
You're welcome.
Well, we're hoping and praying, even though that it's our seasons run in tandem, that we can find a way to come up, support you guys, and pay a visit. And we really appreciate everything that you're doing for the culture up.
Well, that'd be nice, for sure.
Come and eat some poutine. Come and eat some beaver tails, right?
yeah. There you go.
Life is
and learn
good.
French. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Well, thank you again for making the time for us. We're going to get back to your biz. And again, to everybody out there listening, be sure to go give them a like and support everything that they're doing. The future of the drive-in is oh so bright. And on that note, Jeff, take it away, my friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for coming out tonight to the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. We hope you'll come back and see us again real soon. The exit is on the right-hand side of the screen at the front of the field, and most importantly, have a very safe trip home. Good night, and God bless you.